welcome to episode 11 of Two Girls and a Cat. This is called Two Girls Talk Suicide Squad. I'm Sam.
And I'm Carolyn.
And we're going to not just talk Suicide Squad, we're also going to talk the DCU as it is right now.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that first?
Yeah. We were trying to work out what's the best way to kind of intro, weren't we, with Suicide Squad.
So
rather than just kind of launching into the usual stuff that we've seen online in the last 12 months, really.
Yeah, so the Suicide Squad just came out last week, but the trailers for...
Well, the rebirth, really, isn't it, of DC?
Justice League and Wonder Woman trailers were released just before that with San Diego Comic-Con. So why don't we do... do you want to do the Suicide Squad or do you want to do the trailers? Let's do Suicide Squad and then we'll... Because that kind of like... because if we do Suicide Squad first, that takes us into the DCU going onwards.
Yeah, I mean, we've already had Batman vs Superman, which has been and gone beginning of this year.
And DVD's just been released, actually, the extended edition.
Which you say is worth buying just to watch.
The documentary on Wonder Woman was really, really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't get how people were saying it brings this, that extra time brings the story together.
Yeah.
Didn't get that.
Like, Batman vs Superman, like, again, really, really hyped. Like, really cast your mind back about 12 months to when that was being advertised, and there was the new Star Wars film. Mm-hmm. Star Wars took precedence. Everybody was like, holy shit, can't wait. Star Wars did not disappoint.
No, but then you also had Civil War as well.
Civil War 2, which I felt like Civil War was kind of like on the back burner until people had seen Batman vs Superman. And then it was like, because then once you saw Batman vs Superman, it had such mixed reviews.
Yeah. The Batman vs Superman was competing trailer-wise with Civil War. Was like, holy shit, that looks so good, and Captain America, that looks so good, and then Batman
I really wanted Batman vs Superman to be amazing, and I came in, we went to see it, I was like, it wasn't actually that bad. And then when I reflected on it, after I'd seen Civil War in particular, I was like...
Yeah, that had a lot of holes in.
That kind of wasn't that well put together in comparison.
It's Zack Snyder at his best. He's so good at his cinematography. He can put a film together that can look so beautiful, but he just doesn't get the story right. Sucker Punch is a perfect example of Zack Snyder. That film is beautiful. It is so amazing to watch, but the story makes no fucking sense. And it's the same with Batman versus Superman. There was just it was two comic books smacked together.
Yeah.
And that was it. But there was just so many holes, just too many holes in that.
It was just...
And I watched it again the other day, and I watched it with Ant, and that was the first time he'd seen it, and he was like, I can't, like... Superman, how hypocritical he was. Like, he was bitching and moaning to Batman like, oh, you can't do this. You can't be Batman. I'm Superman. This is my job. And, he was so hypocritical. The only thing I can take away from that film is that I've actually started to like Wonder Woman.
Well, I was going to say, she was the best thing about that. She was the only redeeming feature.
That music when she comes in is a...
Oh my God.
So good. So
it's gonna blow apart when that movie opens.
But is it?
Yeah.
There's the question. You saw Batman vs Superman, the trailer. You honestly
saw all the best bits.
You thought you were in for a fucking treat.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad, the best trailers that have ever come out of a movie. Suicide Squad. That soundtrack in them trailers is brilliant.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be the same, or are they gonna learn their lessons? Or are they just going to look at money and say, look, it's making all the money, we're obviously doing something right?
I mean, this is it, because after the whole hype of, you had Ben Affleck as the new Batman. You've got a new Batman. We already know Henry Cavill. You've got a new Wonder Woman. You've got
the first Wonder Woman. Let's not forget that she is the first...
movie.
Yeah, you can't take anything away from Linda Carter. But the first movie adaptation of Wonder Woman is right now.
And a new Joker, which leads us into Suicide Squad. You've got Harley Quinn. I mean, the hype
was intense. This was DC is can do villains.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Marvel can't, but DC know how to do villains. They have some of the best in comic book history.
I've always liked Marvel's superhero better than a Marvel villain. DC villain is, if you could mash those two together, it would be like amazing.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. DC, it's so much better. Sorry, I've just adjusted me back. DC do their villains just so, there's a documentary actually on Amazon, and it's all about DC villains, and they are so interesting. The backstories in them, the stories that they get into was just so interesting. So when you hear that Suicide Squad is going to have the main core villains of mainly Batman. I mean, I know Captain Boomerang's from Flash, and part of the Road Gallery in Flash, but you've got the majority is all Batman villains, and Batman was always great because of his villains.
Yeah.
That was the appealing part. Well, for me anyway, the appealing part was his villains. And then you hear Harley Quinn is going to be shown. Now, Harley has got a fan base that goes beyond this film. Completely beyond
it goes
this
way
film.
back.
She's got such a fan base that to see her on the big screen, it was a big thing. It was huge.
Well, when Margot Robbie was announced as being Harley Quinn, it was like,
it just fitted.
That's brilliant.
That just fitted so right.
And before they released, can you remember before they released the images of what she was going to look like, and and obviously the important thing about any DC film involving a Joker is obviously a new Joker, what Jared Leto was going to be like, so that he wasn't put in the same box as Jack Nicholson or put in the same box as Heath Ledger.
He was always going to measure up to Heath. It
was
always. It was never.
He's my Joker. He's my Joker on a dark Batman sense.
Yeah.
On an overall childhood memory sense, it's going to be Jack Nicholson, because I am a child of the 80s.
I am also a child of the 80s, but I only watched that film about a month and a bit ago.
Oh my God.
I know. My Joker will be always Cesar Romero. But Carolyn's right. If you're going for the dark sense of Batman in movie, in the
nobody
movies,
is better than Heath Ledger.
is better than Heath Ledger.
And sorry, not to jump ahead, but even Jared Leto doesn't come close to Heath Ledger in this.
I'll give you my opinions when we get into it, because I have very different ones to Carolyn. I think we've kept our conversations quite minimal.
We haven't talked about this at all, really, have we?
We haven't, not even in the car on the way home.
No.
We just said what we thought, and that was about it.
Let's save this for the podcast.
Yeah, because and I know we have a completely different view on the Joker and probably the film in a whole. But we'll get into that. Yeah. We'll get into that bit. So the hype of this film was fucking huge. It was DC, like I've said, DC were bringing their villains out. What could you not like? Harley Quinn.
Yeah, but can you remember though, everyone was bitching because they were like, "Oh, I don't like the tattoos on her face."
No,
and I don't, because she's got that one. She's got that tattoo here.
Has she?
She's got a little heart.
Oh,
on her cheek.
right, yeah, I think.
And she's got like, in the Joker, he's got damaged tattoos across his forehead, and Harley's hair, and it was like, oh, I wanted to see her in like the old style costume.
What people wanted, I don't think they wanted the Harlequin outfit, the one with the jester.
Yeah.
I don't think they wanted that one. I think they would look, because Harley Quinn made her impression with people, I believe, from the Batman video games. And Harley has had some really good costumes. So it is completely, her costumes in the video series, as much as they can be different, they are very similar. So they were it's a complete 180 from what she's wearing right now. But she has been probably the most cosplayed character over the last year within conventions. But I remember the image of Joker when that was released, and with Jared Leto and the damage across his head, it was July 13th, it was 2015. It was my birthday. I got it on my Twitter page because I actually liked it. I liked it. I did.
know.
I
just
did.
kind of thought.
I thought it was different. I thought it was a risk. He was always going to be compared to Heath Ledger. But again, I'm jumping too far ahead. I'll get into that in a bit.
I know. Well. So yeah. I mean, obviously, I think the others kind of faded into the background a little bit in the build up. Like
Will
he
Smith...
didn't really. Like, you knew Will Smith was in it. In any other film that was with Will Smith in it, you'd be like, "Cool, I'm gonna go see the new Will Smith movie." I didn't go seeing this thinking, "Oh, awesome, Will Smith's in this." Like I just completely forgot about him. I forgot that he was in it.
Yeah.
However, by the end, it was like one of the best things about it.
It was. It really was.
Because he is so good anyway.
He is. The only criticism I have of Will Smith is his kids. That's probably about
That's
it.
for a different
that's
podcast
probably
altogether.
about it. But then you've got the likes of Jai Courtney. Oh, holy shit, that guy can't act. Have you seen Terminator?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's absolutely terrible. He is absolutely terrible. However, I'll get into my opinions on that when we get into the film. But then Tom Hardy was meant to be in this film. He was supposed to play Rick
Well,
Flag.
we all know what you think about Tom Hardy.
Fuck that Tom Hardy wasn't in this film because Jesus Christ, you wouldn't been able to understand a word he was saying, trying to give out orders to people.
He would have not been the right choice.
No,
he would not have been the right choice.
Nobody would ever been able to get away from the fact that he was being.
Yeah.
That would have just, it just would have been in people's head.
You've been in this before and you were somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's completely separate universes. The Nolan universe is completely separate, but I think still people would go, he was being.
Yeah.
So the hype was built right up. They went to San Diego Comic-Con in 2015. They had nothing really to show. They were still in the depths of filming. So they went, it was introduced to the panel, and then that was it. However, this year they had a lot to show, and David Ayer came out balls blazing, saying DC do it right, DC are the best, and they brought out the Suicide Squad, and they give you the last trailer, which is the fuck knows what song it was, because that soundtrack was absolutely incredible.
The soundtrack's really good.
Oh, it was really good. But they brought out the last trailer, and that was 2 weeks ago, and then it was released on Friday. Last Friday.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Well, let's just get into it. So the main plot.
So it was set out very comic book stylishy. Yeah. I thought anyway. The introduction of the characters.
Yeah.
You had Amanda Waller talking to, was it the White House? No, the White House, but the Secretary of State or something.
She was at the Pentagon, I think, wasn't she?
Yeah, and she's got this plan to create a task force, so they're completely liable. They're the baddest of the bad. It's
like this suggestion that she's had for a long time, and no one will listen to her, isn't it? It's like this is the only way we can make this go away is by fighting fire with fire.
Pretty much. Well, it's after the death of Superman, really, isn't it? Because that's included in there. You saw Superman's funeral at the beginning. Yeah. So it was the death of Superman, and they thought that what happens if another threat comes about, we are not prepared in the slightest. So Amanda Waller suggests that she creates a super team of villains to basically do the deeds for the government, and if it all goes tits up,
we'll just kill them.
The liability's on them. Nobody's going to believe that they were doing it out of the kindness of the heart. So that is her main plan, and it kind of it goes. It doesn't get approved at first, does it?
No, but then she obviously brings in
June Moon,
played by
Cara Delevingne. I love saying her name.
So, Cara Delevingne.
Right.
Did you like her?
Yes.
I
did. Do you know what? Yeah. She got a load of shit on the internet saying she can't act. Let's be honest. The fucking voice actor did all the work for her.
Yeah.
She really didn't have to do that much. So fuck the fact that people are saying that she can't act. Because she didn't fucking say anything.
There wasn't very much acting required.
That was not her
anyway.
voice. If that was her voice, she did a cracking job. But that was not her voice.
Yeah.
But I actually liked her. I don't mind her. She is very young. She's a model. She's not an actress.
She looked the part.
She very much did. Her American accent was a bit on the sketchy side. But is the fact that you know that she's English.
Yeah.
And she's got that southern accent.
It's a bit.
It was like Sophie Turner when she did
Oh,
Jane Grey.
yeah. She started off a little bit odd, didn't
and
she?
then it started to grow on you. It was exactly the same.
Yeah.
But she didn't talk enough American for us to actually think, fuck me, that accent's terrible. It really didn't last that long.
True.
So June Moon is being taken over by an evil witch. She was... What was she doing?
She was doing some sort of like archaeological like exploration somewhere, wasn't she? And she basically unearthed something,
and it was Enchantress who attached herself to her, and can she just change it? She has to say her name. She has to say her name
in the summons, doesn't she?
And brings her forward, and Amanda Waller is going to use her to, because they prove a point, don't they? She's got backtrack. Amanda Waller has a heart.
Yes.
Has Enchantress's heart.
Yeah.
So she can pretty much control this witch, to do her deeds. So that is the plan, isn't it? That was the plan. But then it all goes tits up. Because Enchantress eventually actually manages to take over. And take over June and bring her brother back.
Yeah.
And if you've seen the trailers with the goo and everything, that is her brother coming to life.
Yeah.
So Amanda decides it's time to pull in Task Force.
That's where you kind of then get like a run, person by person, like a run through profile, don't you, of where they've come from,
how they've gotten there,
how they got there, what they're like now. So
it starts with everyone's favourite, Harley Quinn, and all it shows you is her as Joker's sidekick.
Yeah.
Well, basically, they say it's the king and queen of Gotham, isn't it? And you don't want to mess with the queen. And they show that beautiful picture of Harley in the Harlequin outfit. I actually have that picture on my wall, and Joker with these tux on, and it just goes to it shows you the pull that Joker has within the crime community. You know how fucking crazy Harley Quinn is to start with, and then she gets captured by Le Batman because Joker, as always, will leave her to die.
Well, yeah, she kind of like goes into the river, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And Batman pulls her out, and she tries to fight him.
And there's another thing. Somebody mentioned online that Batman punched Harley Quinn. I would punch her too if she lunged at me the way she did. I'm sorry, woman or not.
She went to kill.
She lunged at him, so he punched her to knock her out so he could get her out safely.
Yeah.
Fuck you, internet.
Let's talk about that whole domestic violence and Suicide Squad thing after, because I know it's really annoyed you.
It has annoyed us. Harley Quinn is a battered woman, yes. But if you can only see that in Harley Quinn, then you don't know her at all. Harley Quinn is, and you get to see this in the film, she is a doctor. She's a very good doctor, actually.
She's very clever.
Her real name's Harleen Quinzel, and she's top of her class. She's excellent at what she does, and she keeps to herself. She is taking it, the way that they did it in the film is how it happened. He seduced her, he manipulated her, and he twisted her brain, and he unlocked probably something that was already there. And when she's on what did you say to her? He says, "Would you die for us?" And she goes, "Yes." And he goes, "Would you live for us?" And she said, "Yes." And she jumps into Ace Chemicals. The Ace Chemicals batch. Yeah. And if you notice, he went to go and walk away and then went in and saved her. Yeah. Did you notice what colour his shirt was and what colour her shirt was and what colour her hair is? Yeah. It makes fucking sense. Yeah. So, people are bitching and moaning that she was a battered woman, that Joker, just humiliated her, this, that and the other. Yes, because that is Harley's backstory. Yeah. Harley is...
She's meant to have been influenced and controlled by the Joker. That's always the whole point.
That is the whole point. Harley's arc is never going to change because that is how she was portrayed when she first came out. Harley is not a creation of comics. She is a creation of a television show, of an animated series. She was only meant to be in for one episode, and then they've made this whole massive character about her. Now, Harley when what I mean by if you don't know Harley, then you don't. If you don't know anything more about Harley than what you see with her and Joker, then you clearly don't know her. One time in the comics, Joker actually he can't stand the fact that he has these feelings about her. He really can't. He actually does love her, but he cannot stand the fact that he has them. So the only way that in his head he can get rid of these feelings and move on and get on with what he needs to do is by killing her. So he straps her to a rocket and sends her on her way. She manages to get out and she's found by Poison Ivy. And Poison Ivy is just about to kill her because this is Harley Quinn. This is Joker's bitch. You know, this is, you get to Joker, you go through Harley. And just as she's about to do it, Harley says, what's the point? Just do it anyway. And it intrigues her, and they actually create this amazing friendship. Harley, when she is on her own, is an incredible character. She is so... She'll do anything for whoever she's fighting for, but she fucking still hates Batman.
But you kind of get the feel of that in this movie.
Yeah, because the minute she's away from him...
She comes into her own,
She comes definitely without a shadow of a doubt, but the minute she clocks eyes on him...
It's like...
That's it.
It just all falls away
It
again,
does.
doesn't it?
When he strapped her to a rocket, he sent her off to die. She manages to pick her life up, and all he had to do was say sorry, and she was right back in his. I actually wrote an article about Harley and her whole backstory, so this is why I'm like slightly freshed up on it because I had to read it the other day because Harley's just so like Harley now is on her own. She's not even with Joker.
Yeah.
You gotta, for me anyway, you gotta appreciate the character as a whole, not just what you see in.
Yeah.
Because there's so much more to her.
Yeah.
So that's my little rant on Harley. Sorry,
Rant
it just annoys us that people are so happy to look at her visually and say, "Fuck yeah, she's amazing."
Because I think the reason for that is that people don't know enough about the character and the whole background to it. They just see, like.
They just see this visual.
It's the Joker's girlfriend, and we really like Margot Robbie.
And we like the idea of the Joker because everyone liked the idea of the Joker.
People get far too bogged down in political correctness these days, which gets in the way of a good story.
Yeah,
and it's like it's not real. Everyone
exactly, and you can't.
Sorry,
no, you're absolutely right, and you can't go and change someone's story arc. Because of the fact, we can't have that.
2016 now.
We can't have that.
Yeah.
And you're glamorising domestic violence. No, the fucking not.
It's like everyone just chill out, eat your popcorn, shut up and watch the film.
Exactly.
God.
Fucking sit down.
My rant's over now.
I think mine is too.
Anyhow,
back into the film. So she assembled her task force. You got Harley Quinn, Deadshot, which was a fucking amazing surprise. Will Smith, absolutely incredible in that role. I
like the whole background thing they did with his daughter and like how she didn't want him to kill people and he was kind of constantly struggling with his conscience over I don't want to.
It's either his daughter or other life, really, isn't it? Because Deadshot does it for money. It's nothing else.
A lot of money.
It's nothing else in it than nothing else in it than money. It's to create a life. He wants his daughter to have everything that he didn't have.
Yeah.
And he's what's Deadshot's real name? Fudge. Wrote down everyone's name except Deadshot's real name. God damn it. So yeah, he's hang on 1 second. You gotta be right at the top of the list. No. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, there he is. Floyd Lawton. That's it. Sorry.
So yeah, we see him, and obviously he is in Bellerive.
Yeah.
Where he's got a real hate relationship with Griggs.
Yeah, who is the guy? I can't believe it's the guy from Bad Neighbours. Like that's the only thing I've ever seen him in. Mm-hmm. So I just assumed he was a comedy actor. Mm-hmm. Like I wouldn't expect him to be in this film. He's really good actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a guard who just basically is
horrible to everybody who's in there. And he's like, I'm going to get you.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
And when he gets the first chance he does get,
he points a gun at his face and he's like, I knew this was gonna happen. But so who else have we got in this team? So Harley, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang.
Yeah.
Jai Courtney, as I said earlier on, is a shit actor. He was fucking incredible in this film. I cannot believe I've walked out of this film and went, fuck me, Jai Courtney was really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really good. Captain Boomerang is right up his alley. Obviously, with him being in Australia, and it would have helped. But the you know, in the middle of a fight, taking 2 minutes to have a drink, and he's pink unicorn.
And he kind of wasn't fully on board with the whole idea. He's like looking for the first sign to get out of it if he can.
He uses. I mean, everyone knew that the character Slipknot. We knew he was going to be a throwaway character because he's not exactly huge in the list of villains. So we kind of thought he's going to be a throwaway character. The minute Captain Boomerang's like, listen, let's just get out of here.
Let's just wait for our chance.
Come on, and then, because what's happened is Amanda Waller, she's assembled this team in the way, and this is exactly the way it happens in the comics. She implants them with an explosive, so she's got complete control over them. Yeah. You know, these villains are not just getting out to do what they want; they're going to be controlled, and that's the way that she does it. So when he's trying to convince Slipknot and say, listen, come on, this is just false, then they don't really have anything in us, and he's like, oh yeah mate, let's just go. Slipknot gets his head blown off.
It's like, yeah.
And then you've also got El Diablo, and he was just adorable, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was cute.
A little cutie.
And I think by the end you kind of felt sorry for him.
I felt really sorry for him. Really sorry. He's one of these who knows he's got such great power. And
scared to use it.
Terrified to use it. Like, you've seen the trailer where Will Smith pushes him and slaps him about a bit. That's what it takes. You've got to get him angry enough to unleash what he can do. Yeah. But that's only part of what he can do. At the end, you get to see what he actually, and the reason why he's called El Diablo for.
Yeah. We also see that his family are dead because of him.
Yep. He's done some bad things. Oh yeah.
You know, that was kind of like, oh.
Well, he did some bad things, and he knew what he did, and it's like he incarcerated himself.
Yeah, he didn't want to come out.
He didn't want to come out. They had to flush him out.
Literally.
To get him out of that cell. But he was a really good character. I liked getting to see. I just like to see him the way he was. He didn't want to be a part of this team, but he knew that they had his back. Yeah. So he felt a bit safe with them. I think that was the whole thing with all of them. Like, the core group, anyway, Harley, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang, and El Diablo, they all felt safe with each other. Yeah. That's the impression I got. So, who else is in the team? Have we gone through?
Katana.
Oh, yes, Katana. If you watch Arrow, Katana has actually been in Arrow before. So she is then he said samurai, but she's not a samurai, is she? Well, she's Rick Flag's mate in this film anyway. Yeah. And her sword, her katana, holds the souls of men she's killed.
Including her husband.
And her husband's in there as well. And if you watch Arrow, you see her backstory in that.
I thought she was pretty cool.
She was, but did she really need to be in there?
No, it was kind of like someone had took her out of Kill Bill and just dropped her in there.
Just give him a Sean's katana and just like, get on with it, pet.
Yeah.
I didn't see it necessary having katana in there, but it didn't. Yeah. It didn't change my opinion. Like I wasn't bothered either way. Yeah. Again, she's probably just another throwaway character for me.
As throwaway as Scott Eastwood, unfortunately, because you know my love for Scott Eastwood.
Oh yeah. Yes, he was in there somewhere.
He was. What
did you call him? Extra A.
Extra. Guard 1. Exit stage left.
Scott Eastwood, get off the stage.
If his dad had not been Clint Eastwood.
Holy shit! I did not even know that was his dad.
Are you fucking kidding me? Have we just... Welcome to the world of Sam, everyone. And you wonder why I call her Dory?
Did not know that was...
You did not know... Eastwood, Sam. Eastwood.
There's many Eastwoods.
Clint Eastwood. Fuck me.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
There was a time There was a time.
Portia actually can't, but look at this. She's looking at you with complete contempt. I wish you could all see this.
There was a time Carolyn used to send us pictures of Scott Eastwood on Instagram, and I was like, I just don't get it. I really don't get it.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, he's kind of gone to seed recently, if I'm honest. But, you know, and the fact that he's kind of been downgraded in Suicide Squad maybe just illustrates my point. But
so, who else is in this film?
Who else does Sam not know who was in this film? Killer Croc, obviously part of the core team, who was pretty cool. I thought I kind of liked it.
Very funny.
Yeah,
very funny, and I can't pronounce his name. I think he was Iko in Lost.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the guy from The Mummy who kept going, this place is cursed. I think that's him.
You think
I think that's him. But he was really good. The prosthetics that they did, that is all makeup.
Yeah.
That is not
excellent.
visual effects. That is all makeup. I am sure Greg Nicotero, who is the makeup artist, director and producer for Walking Dead, I think he played a hand in it. I'm not going to directly say that he did it, but I am positive he put a picture.
Something.
Yeah, I think it might have been his team or something, because he put a picture on Instagram to say it's all makeup. There is no CG in there.
Yeah.
Which I thought was absolutely... I love practical effects.
Yeah.
The reason Ghostbusters is one of my favourite films is because it's all done with practical effects. I love puppetry. I'm not a big fan of CG. Don't get us wrong. If it's needed, it's needed. But I'm not the biggest fan of it. So to see... And I love makeup. I get very excited when I see makeup. And his was perfect. And he's just his whole attitude. He's like this big, scary crocodile. But he was so funny. Had some of the best lines in there.
He was cool. I just thought, yeah, like the whole idea was just really cool, and how it was all, you know, as you say, the visual impact that he had was so good.
Funny. And I was watching Assault on Arkham the other week, and it's the Suicide Squad. It's pretty much very, very similar to the story that's we're seeing in the film. And instead of Killer Croc, it is, who the funk is it? It's somebody else, and he reminded us so much of Killer Croc. That was just them one-liners, and yes, I'm beautiful, and like, clearly you're not, mate. You know,
you look terrible.
But it just reminds us a lot of art. So yeah, Killer Croc. Sorry that I can't pronounce his name, and Carolyn thinks that she can. She got the first part right.
It's very complicated, but all we need to know is that Sam didn't know Clint Eastwood was Scott Eastwood's dad. I think that's left me reeling. I don't think you're ever going to get... I'm not going to ever let you live that down.
There's probably some worse things I've said before.
But yeah, I'm sure if I think about it.
Yeah. So, that's the core group. So, Killer Croc, Katana, Deadshot, Harley Quinn, and... Captain Boomerang.
Yeah.
Just like saying his name. I love saying his name.
Well, they go off and they have got to stop Enchantress.
Yeah, basically. They're gonna... Enchantress is turning men as quickly as she can into these creatures who are gonna, you know, take over. She basically just wants to take over the world. She's managed to get her heart back. Yeah. And she basically wants to take over the world. It's down to the Suicide Squad to stop her.
Yeah.
That is the main gist of the film. Mm-hmm. How the fuck anyone could have so much of a problem with that is beyond me. But there is some little holes in there. Just tiny little ones. For me, anyway. For the last 20 minutes of that film, I was fucking glued. I had to actually look away just to remind myself where I actually was. Because El Diablo, when he goes full fucking flame on, Jesus Christ, that had me absolutely
It was
hooked.
cool. It was really cool. I just felt like the story was a little bit too rushed in places. Like you kind of knew where it was going, but they were like, yeah, so this happens and that's who this person is, so yeah, let's just accept that and just move forward.
Yeah, I can't disagree that it was...
It could... I don't know whether that was just because they didn't want to lose people's interest in what was going on in the bigger scenes.
Yeah.
But it kind of took away from the kind of... the underpinning of the whole story for me. I don't know, it was just felt a little bit amateur writing in some places.
I kind of disagree with that part. It felt like they were trying to put so much in. The editing was so mismatchy. I get that. What I came away from it was the characters that were in it. The cast was absolutely incredible. You cannot deny that cast worked their arse off.
No, yeah, and they did. I mean, for me, Margot Robbie and Will Smith carried that film.
Will Smith, I always said
him first and foremost, and her very close second.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Not just Will Smith in the film, just Will Smith in general about the film. If you saw his promotion work for this film, he was so fucking excited. Like
I would be too if I knew I was the best fucking actor in the film.
Well, he was.
Go and see my new movie in it because I'm awesome.
There was an interview he did. I can't remember if it was with Jimmy Kimmel or with the other one. I can't remember what the other one's called, but it was a late night show, and he said it was so funny. He was like, "Listen, I'm an actor. I've had many a jobs before this one, and it's a job. You go on set, you do what you're meant to do. I am cool as fuck." And then he said, "But the minute the Batmobile rolls up on set and Ben Affleck jumps out as Batman, I started screaming like a girl." He was so, just to see somebody excited about it. Jared Leto has let me down just ever so slightly because he's gone into a little bit of Betty about things because it hasn't gone the way that he was probably expecting it to go.
Yeah.
But that still doesn't take me away from the fact that I actually like this Joker. So let's talk about the Joker.
Right.
Go on, Carolyn.
I just felt that he was a bit too pantomime for me in places.
No,
and is in the whole image. I get that he's got to be completely different. Oh, I know what's gonna happen. People go, oh, but he's not. But he can't be Jack Nicholson, and he can't be Heath Ledger. Yes, I understand that computes. However, I just felt it was trying to be too clever with it.
Wow, yeah, I get what you mean.
It's like it didn't have to go like...
No, I know, I totally get what you mean. I actually enjoyed this Joker. I don't have anything to Heath Ledger's Joker. I liked it. I think if Heath hadn't died, the hype of him being the Joker probably wouldn't be as powerful as it is now. That's just my personal opinion. I like the idea that Jared Leto has just gone a little bit into the vault and went, oh, I like this aspect of that Joker, and I like the aspect of that Joker, and we'll take that look from this one and that from that, and just create his own version of this character. It would have always been really fucking hard for him to do because everyone is going to look to him to be Heath Ledger.
Because Heath Ledger...
He set a bar. He really
Heath
did.
Ledger was scary as the Joker. Like, he actually was... Like, when you watch him and you watch his expressions and the way that he delivers his lines, you think, oh my God, he could legitimately just sit here now and just kill someone and not think twice about it.
I get it.
He doesn't care. He's got no feelings. He's got no empathy. However, this Joker just felt a bit like... It was like he was trying to give off that air of I'm a psycho, but at the same time, he was a little bit too pantomime.
I get it. No, I do get what you're saying.
It was a bit like, he's behind you. Oh no, he isn't. that's kind of a few steps away.
And I don't know why. Just there was something about him that I thought, I really actually like this version of the Joker. He is, is that right? Sorry, no. There's just something there. There was just something there to say that this is what I don't know what I'm trying to say, because I really did like him, and I'm probably being biased because I actually love Jared Leto as an actor. Have you ever seen Dallas Buyers Club? It's one of the greatest things that person, and I think that's probably why I am really biased for, because I'm willing him to do so well. I think he has been a little bit of a bitter Betty over the whole situation.
Yeah.
Because he's been very quiet about the fact.
Mm-hmm.
Just slightly. Like, he went to the premieres and everything like that, and this was after the reviews had come out. They stood very tall as a unit, but now he's just...
But then again, look at all the money the film's taken.
Well, this is what I was saying earlier.
It kind of speaks, people vote with their feet, don't they?
Yeah. And this is what worries us about DC. Are they just going to look at the figures that they're making, or are they just going to take into account what people are actually seeing and what people want? I personally enjoyed Suicide Squad. I thought it was a fun film. Yes, it had...
I'd watch it again. I mean, I didn't dislike it.
It had its faults. It wasn't Batman versus Superman, put it that way.
It was better than Batman versus Superman.
I get angry over Batman versus Superman. I can't get angry over this film. There was too many good parts that overshadowed the bad for me.
Yeah.
That's...
I didn't dislike it. I quite enjoyed my night out. It was good.
It was fun. It was a fun film. And I think it was slightly lighthearted for DC as well, because they are known for the darker side of comic books and their stories. They're not Marvel. They're never... Marvel is very kid-friendly.
Marvel is superhero in the very sort of conjuring up of the word, isn't it, really, of what you first think of when you think superhero movie. You think... Avengers, yeah.
Iron Man. They are shiny and bright and...
Very kid-friendly.
Very child-friendly. And it works. It really works for them.
But you couldn't have psychotic Heath Ledger as the Joker in the Disney store. Let's be honest about it, So,
and it's DC's opportunity to take what they have and really work with it. Not that I thought this is where it was going to pay off because they are using their villains, but for some people, they've not enjoyed it. I think it pisses me right off with the whole Harley Quinn thing. That really fucking knocked us. I am sick to shit of seeing people on the internet ripping into that character. Get to fucking know her first before you start ripping into her. But that pissed us off. But everything else, there was like I say, there was just a lot of good that outweighed the bad.
Yeah, no, I agree.
didn't find it that bad.
I agree.
Leading, so that's all I can say.
That's all we can really say about it. But I mean, let's talk about after this movie, what's going to happen with DC, because it kind of gives you a bit of a lead in from the mid credits at the end of Suicide Squad.
Before we do that, can we just talk about Amanda Waller? How fucking amazing Viola Davis is.
Yeah. I mean, she's integral, isn't she?
If you know Amanda Waller, you may have seen her on Arrow. She is in Arrow a lot. Arrow does do a lot to do with Suicide Squad.
She's a bad bitch.
She is fucking horrible.
There's a full-on moment in this film, you all haven't been to see it yet, where she does something where you think,
you need a diet
my God.
pit. But if you watch the documentary on, I'll get the name of it actually, and I'll put some links down below in the comments. But there is this documentary. Amanda Waller is named as one of the worst villains, and she is just a normal human being. There's nothing secret. She is just fucking nasty. Horrendous. And Viola Davis has that scary thing about her where she can, like when she's talking to Bruce at the end, because the end credit scenes she's talking to Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
she's very calm. Very collected. She's very very politely spoken.
Well, she's like a complete sociopath, isn't she?
She fucking is. She's probably worse than the Joker. Jesus Christ.
Well, where is the irony in that? I think that is an interesting angle for you, Sam, as a writer.
Oh, thank you.
There we go.
I'll take
That's for free. You can
have that one.
Compare and contrast Amanda Waller and the Joker.
That's a good one.
Who is crazier than who? Discuss. It's an exam question.
That's a good one, actually.
So mid credits you see Bruce Wayne sitting around a table with her after the whole thing has happened.
It looks like the same table, if you remember from the trailers, where she's discussing this task force and the rain and the steak, and it looks like the same place.
Yeah.
She must really like eating there.
Yeah. Must be good steak.
I know. They must do some really good food.
The potatoes must be good in that restaurant. Maybe they do good waffles.
Oh,
Christ.
behave.
So
end credit scene. Bruce basically says, "Oh,
Well,
for fudge
well,
sake."
essentially, he says that he will agree to protect her
That's it.
as long as she gives him access to all of the files
and the metahuman community that she has, because she has a lot. She has, because that's what.
Well, there's a trade-off, isn't there?
Well, there's a main topic of conversation through the film is the metahumans in the, how many more is there?
And we get to see the Flash.
We saw the
Flash. The new Flash, Ezra Miller.
He had a little brief appearance, and he handed over because, like I said, Captain Boomerang is from Flash's universe. He's part of the Rogue Gallery. Rogue Gallery, is that right? Wish I wouldn't
make
doubt
things
myself sometimes. Make things up. Shut up. So he hands in, because Batman takes in his, doesn't he? Deadshot and Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
And Flash hands over Captain Boomerang. So that's Suicide Squad. Basically, in a nutshell, Amanda Waller gets a team of villains to take down the Enchantress. It works. They get put back in jail again.
Yeah.
That's it.
They're back there. But, I mean, Harley gets an espresso machine, so that's pretty cool.
She does. She gets out. That's what you see when on the trailer when she's with her, reading her romantic book and her express. They do get certain terms to their sentences for doing good things.
Yeah. If
you really want a good, I mean, like I've said a million times, I did not mind this film, but if you really want to watch a good Suicide Squad film, I highly recommend Assault on Arkham. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to Ray Payers, our good friend.
Who does our cover art, thank
you,
Ray.
Thanks, Ray. And he went to see Suicide Squad, I think, the day after we went to see it, and I said, what did you think? And he said, well, I really enjoy Ghostbusters. Because I think what he was getting at was that at the end it was kind of very similar.
Oh, we've not seen Ghostbusters yet.
But, you know what I mean? It was very Ghostbusters-y.
Yeah.
At the end. And you all know what I mean if you've seen the movie.
Have you seen it?
No, as in...
Oh, right.
Ghostbusters per se. But,
right.
So, yeah.
I liked how people said that it was... that it was the... I think it was Captain Kirk, actually. He said it is the worst parts of Ghostbusters 2 and the best parts of Escape from New York. And all I thought of after that was, I like Ghostbusters 2.
Hey, don't diss Ghostbusters 2.
I like
Ghostbusters 2 is awesome.
But that's the Suicide Squad.
So what's coming next for
the DCU? So in San Diego Comic-Con, they released two new trailers. Two trailers that we probably didn't think we would be getting.
Yeah.
So it was a nice surprise. First one being the Justice League. Second one being Wonder Woman.
Holy shit. We all can't wait.
Shit the bed.
It's that music, man.
Oh, it's just... The story is... I think if you've... See, when it comes to DC, I'm not a big fan of their comic books. I'm only just starting to get into Wonder Woman, for Christ's sake. But I love their animated films. And in 2009, they released a Wonder Woman 1, and it looks like it's going off the same kind of story arc as that, where Wonder Woman is on Themyscira, and her mother is basically protecting her from men because she's being fucked over by Ares, who, oh wow,
that was Portia, everyone,
and it looks like that's what, Steve Trevor coming up on the island and everything, it looks like that's what the story's going to be. I mean, once we get a little bit more and it gets close to the time, maybe we'll do a Wonder Woman. I would love to do a Wonder Woman podcast because I am.
We'll do one.
Finding out so much.
She's pretty cool.
Not just about the character, but how she. I actually enjoy the idea of how she was created, and so yeah, I would like to expand on that a little bit.
That crack.
But Justice League. Let's just take a minute to talk about how fucking incredible that looked.
I hope so. I hope it's going to be, though.
This is what I was saying earlier. We are looking at these trailers and going, fuck yeah, that looks amazing. And then when it comes to it, it's Batman versus Superman all over again. It's that disappointment.
It's like, come on, DC.
But what are we expecting? This is like, cast your mind back, right? to Marvel, and Iron Man did so well, and then Iron Man 2 came out, and then Iron Man 3, and let's not forget, Marvel has not been perfect in their films either.
No.
Because fucking Thor 2 and Iron Man 3
horrendous.
is, honestly, I started to lose faith. If it wasn't for the Russo brothers saving that, Christ knows where Marvel would have went.
Mm-hmm.
So Marvel ain't exactly perfect either.
No.
So what are we really expecting from DC? Are we looking for Marvel standards, or are we do they create their own? Do they just continue on the path that they have been and expect that it is going to work? Or are they going to actually listen to people and go off and change things? Because by the looks of Justice League,
they've listened.
I think so. But it's Zack Snyder. He comes across as such a cocky bastard. But he is really good at what he does.
Yeah.
He's very good at cinematography, but his storytelling can be sometimes really piss poor.
Off. Yeah.
If he can just get his storytelling right, it probably
might be alright, yeah.
It probably will work. But
fingers crossed is all I can say, because I just love DC villains, as we said at the start.
Just how good did Jason Momoa look in that? Arthur Curry.
Well, we kind of saw a bit of that. We saw that first hinted, didn't we, in Batman vs Superman? Remember when Bruce Wayne opens those files and you get to see.
It's Wonder Woman who opens them.
Oh, Wonder Woman, so he opens the files and
I
you
thought
see.
It was Bruce Wayne
and you see Aquaman.
Yeah, because.
And you're like, oh my god. And the Flash, and you're like, shit.
When I was watching it for the second time with I was like, waiting for Batman to open these files up, and it wasn't. It was Wonder Woman.
I thought it was him, because they go looking for them, don't they?
It was Wonder Woman, because he sends her the files over, and that picture of her from World War One saying, "Is this you?"
That's right. Yeah.
Who are these? Let's go and look for them.
Yeah.
And it's Arthur Curry as Aquaman, and you got Cyborg, Victor Stone. She probably can smell my cats. And
that's Portia, not Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman can't smell Sam's cats, by the way. Portia's in our bag.
It's all right, but she can't hurt herself. There's nothing in there. Flash. You're just chucking toys at her now. She didn't want her toys. She wanted me bag.
Yeah.
So Justice League looks so good. Wonder Woman looks so good. We've also got more to come. I think there's going to be a Flash film. Possibly there was talks of a Cyborg film.
Yeah.
So it does look like
they've got a lot lined up. They've got a lot they can play with.
They have.
So let's just get fingers crossed that they're going to do it the right way.
Let's hope so.
But for the next podcast, which will be episode 12.
Oh, I did say episode 11 at the beginning, by the way.
We're going to do MCU.
We are. I'm going to talk, because as much as DC brought a lot to San Diego Comic-Con this year, Marvel brought just even more. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Doctor Strange. There was more news on Black Panther. Not a trailer, but there was additional cast members. Denai from Walking Dead, Michonne, she's going to be in Black Panther.
Yes.
So there was more people added. The panel, we got to find out finally who's going to play Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So there's so much to talk about on that one. We'll do that on next episode. So you can find us on Instagram, Carolyn.
CarrieJC 1983.
That'd be so funny if you said your name.
No, we do.
Mine is Sammie_Fet13. Is that right? Yeah. You can also find us on Instagram, 2 Girls and a Cat, Facebook, and Twitter. All links will be down below. Remember, please like, share, subscribe, pull our numbers up. If you're on Nerdfeed, because this is going on Nerdfeed as well, if you're on there, let us know. Let us know why you're listening to it. We're also going to be working on how to get this on iTunes and other podcast stations as well.
Yeah.
So I think 50 odd minutes of rambling about Suicide Squad is probably enough.
Probably enough for anybody's ears. Yeah.
So that's our thoughts. I liked it. It was alright.
I thought, enjoyed my night out. It was okay.
You liked your ice cream.
I like the ice cream the best that I had. Thanks, Baskin Robbins.
So that's it. Well, thank you very much for listening. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Thanks.
Bye.